Hey everyone, it's Mark. Today's episode is sponsored by Paint Care. Paint Care is the industry's own solution for the problem of post-consumer paint waste. The organization has already collected over 50 million gallons and redirected them from landfills and waterways. Paint Care currently operates in 10 states and the District of Columbia, with New York, the 11th state, coming online in May of 2022. Paint Care is both good for the environment and your business. 35% of dealers who sign up to be a Paint Care drop-off location report new customers shopping in their store as a direct result of their participation in Paint Care. To learn more about Paint Care, go to paintcare.org/retailers. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm Mark Lipton with another episode of In the News. That's news for independent paint retailers. This is the week of February 10th, 2022. Before we get going, I wanted to start, as I always do, with the dealer shout out, Mike Fleck, Flex Paint of Toms River, New Jersey. The bad news for Mike is that he's in New Jersey. The good news is that he's on the shore. I've known Mike for quite a few years, and I have always appreciated his support of my work. Mike sat in on a board interviewing me once for a consulting gig, and to this day, I still remember the question that he asked me. It was as good a question as I've been asked under those circumstances. So Mike, thank you so much for all your support of my work over these years. I know you've been a reader for quite some time. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for this swag. And now let's get on with the news. Leading off the news today, Home Depot, the nation's largest home improvement retailer, announced plans to hire 100,000 new associates. Home Depot looking to have all 100,000 in place by the beginning of this spring's busy season. Ambitious to say the least, Home Depot is looking to increase staff by 20% in 120 days or less. Home Depot needs the additional staff to keep up with the continued high demand for home improvement materials, paint among them. It caught my attention that Home Depot is touting themselves as a career path rather than a job. The announcement focusing on opportunities for advancement in the store as well as outside of the store and in the Home Depot corporate structure. The announcement stating that some of the 100,000 people that they're looking to hire, they hope to get into corporate assignments such as software development, cybersecurity, data science, marketing, supply chain, and finance. Of course, good luck finding 100,000 people to wear the orange apron in the middle of a labor shortage. Dealers I speak with are still struggling to hire, and the Home Depot announcement reflects some of the reasons for those struggles. Dealers finding it hard to get attention from employee candidates in an environment where all the major companies are hiring as well. Independent retailers may not be able to offer a career path which leads to an office in Atlanta, but they can still compete for the talented people available to work. Dealers looking to hire should make sure their job posts reflect that you can pay a competitive wage. And just like Home Depot did, dealers are encouraged to mention in their postings what they think makes this job a terrific opportunity for somebody looking to work. Dealers offer smaller environments to work in, which is pleasing to a lot of people, with opportunities to work and learn directly from entrepreneur owners. Working for an independent retailer also has a shorter path to responsibility and promotion versus other large retailers and non-retail employers. And of course, many independents I know offer similar benefits to that of the big box and other large corporations, such as 401ks and health insurance. So we'll see how Home Depot does in filling out their roster, and I'll report back. In other news, Walmart has announced a partnership with Angie, that's formerly Angie's List. The announcement sharing that the world's largest retailer is expanding into home services. For those not familiar with the service, Angie's List, now Angie.com, is a professional business directory, which helps connect home improvement professionals with consumers needing home improvement services. Service providers pay to be included in Angie's List, and consumers who hire off the list are encouraged to leave reviews of their experience. Only customers who have hired a provider through Angie's List are free to leave a review, meaning that each review imparts a little more value than those that come from public sites such as Yelp, who allow anyone to post reviews, making each review somewhat suspect. And so contractors really appreciate the environment that Angie's List creates for them. Walmart customers, both online and in store, will be able to book a professional from Angie's List in any of the 150 home improvement categories the firm offers, and that includes painting. Angie's least expensive services start low, $50 to $80. We'll get some furniture assembled or a TV hung, but the services also includes room and whole house painting. For larger projects such as painting, after a Walmart customer requests a quote, a dedicated project advisor will provide that quote, find a professional, and handle all the project's management to completion. It will be interesting to see how this new partnership works out for the world's largest retailer. And while I don't think that this deal means that painters are going to be rushing to Walmart to buy their paint anytime soon, it is clear that the nation's largest retailers remain interested in a relationship with professional tradespeople, and that includes painters. With professional painters making up as much as 85% of many independent retailers' total volume, it's worth keeping an eye on this topic. Moving on, investor website Insider Monkey tracks the portfolio of the nation's largest hedge funds. The site recently sharing that funds are reducing their stock positions in the country's largest paint manufacturer, Sherwin Williams. 12 months ago, 57 hedge funds in the United States were considered bullish on the Cleveland paint maker, holding significant stock positions of the company in their portfolios. At the end of the most recent quarter reported, that number was down to 44, so a significant decrease in the number of hedge funds willing to hold on to their shares of Sherwin Williams stock. While many funds have held on to their positions in Sherwin Williams stock, and a few even expanded them, perspectives on the company's prospect, or at least stock price, have changed significantly over the last 12 months. Here's my thinking in reporting this to you. Hedge funds, of course, are only buying and selling stocks based on their view of the likely performance of the stock price. It's not necessarily connected directly to the performance of the company itself, but it is a sign that other people who make their living evaluating companies are starting to see issues with how Sherwin Williams has performed over the last 12 months. And they have some concerns about that performance, which may be continued good news to independent paint retailers. Moving on, TotalRetail.com, a news source for the entire retail channel, has announced the 6 trends which a survey of retailers exposed as front of mind for retail executives. They are supply chain diversification, re-commerce, which I'll explain in a moment, chatbots, futuristic shopping, media spending based on analytics, and the democratization of retail. Re-commerce being the rebirth of old brands online exclusively for the purposes of capturing any brand equity that they may have. Now, just because those things made the list doesn't mean that it's interesting to paint dealers, but here is what caught my attention. Retailers of all products, including paint, continue to struggle with issues related to the supply chain crisis, and they will continue to do so for the next few quarters. Most people I ask are advising retailers to get more vendors under their umbrella, allowing them or their buyers to access replacement products when the branded products are not available. That advice supported by the executives responding to the TotalRetail.com survey. I think that's good advice for paint dealers as well. While consumers continue to show preferences for their favorite brands, product shortages have also left them with a willingness to use replacement brands when that's all that's available. Comfort with using alternative products makes it possible for dealers to divide their purchase volume among multiple vendors, ensuring that while you may not be able to get your hands on the exact product label a customer wants, you will be able to access a suitable replacement. Of course, you need to be careful not to split your business in so many ways that your volume is small and unattractive to a prospective vendor. But the days of keeping all your eggs in one vendor basket should be behind you. And paint dealers are encouraged to take the advice from totalretail.com and diversify their vendor portfolio. Finally, regarding the labor shortage and how long dealers will be suffering from its effects, Bloomberg reported this week that the lack of sufficient labor, along with job switching and recent Omicron related absences, is wreaking havoc on nearly every US industry. The latest employment report showing that while the labor force participation rate, that's the share of Americans that are either working or looking for work, climbed in January, it's still well below pre-pandemic levels. The report, which also included the largest monthly increase in hourly pay since the end of 2020, suggested further tightening in the job market. The government reporting that there are almost 11 million unfilled jobs in the United States at this time, and that is just a few jobs shy of the all-time record. Matt Puckett, he's the chief operating officer of VF Apparel, that's the maker of Dickies, said, "We expect challenges will remain with us throughout most, if not all, of 2022. So it looks like the coming months and perhaps even longer will remain difficult for dealers to find the staff that they need to keep up with demand or grow their business. I'm encouraging dealers who ask to continually be prospecting for new employees, even if right at this moment they don't have the need. With a market as volatile as this is right now, with business able to advance 20% at an out of stock of Promar at the local Sherwin Williams store, dealers need to be able to remain flexible and deliver paint when the demand is there. So that's it for this episode of In the News. My name is Mark Lipton. This is the week of February 10th, 2022. If you like these episodes, like and subscribe. If you don't like them, send me an email. Let me know what you think and how I can make these better for you. In the meantime, thanks so much for tuning in.